Welcome, welcome once again. Welcome once again. I'm super, super stoked about this masterclass because I know deep down inside that this masterclass for how to become a Florida real estate licensed instructor is going to help so many top-notch real estate practitioners in our industry right now that have a wealth of knowledge, that have been, practicing in the real estate arena for many years and that are looking to go to that next level. And maybe you are one of them and that's why you're here. Or maybe you know someone else besides yourself. And so you're going to be able to share this. So I want to dive right in. And it's really important for me to let you know what we're going to be talking about today. Today, I want to tell you a little story about a company that I founded in 2020 called the Southwest Florida Real Estate and Business Academy, and how that has just gone to another level. And so I want you to know who we are, what we do, what our purpose, and I'm going to tell you so much about it that it's going to enlighten you in many ways, because you're going to be able to see whether this is something you want to do from that perspective, or whether you want to go in another direction with this license, because it is a key. It's a key that's going to open your many doors for you. We're going to go over the future of real estate and the future of the real estate professionals in our area. And when I say our area, guys, I'm even talking about every area. I'm talking about around the nation and around the world. There's so many things that are changing in the real estate industry. And I'll tell you why I'm able to say that, and a little bit about my experience in that arena. I'm going to talk to you about the financial benefits of becoming a Florida licensed real estate instructor and what you can do with it. I'm going to tell you about our outreach, what we do, how we do it, what is the purpose behind everything that we do, and how we have turned this academy into a profits by purpose driven organization. Let me say that again, a profits by purpose organization. So it's really interesting. I'm going to share with you, and that's going to be the core of this masterclass, is very good concepts that after doing this for 3 years and being an operator of this academy, I have learned through personal experience and through experience with the instructors that I currently have, how important it is for us to really understand that it's more than just teaching a class. It's more than just, standing in front of the room and reading off of a PowerPoint. It's so much more. So I want to share with you some of the most incredible golden nuggets and instructor concepts that I've learned. Then we're going to dive into, okay, Lucy, so give me the meat and potatoes, like I call it. Give me the nitty gritty of what it is I need to know and do to be able to become an excellent Florida licensed real estate instructor. My responsibility and commitment to you guys in this area is to just get you there faster, to get you to that finish line faster, to give you the best path to follow, and show you how to prepare yourself to be able to go get that license. And then I'm going to end it with talking about the solution. And I'm going to transmit to you a whole new way of looking at what you do today. So there's many people in the real estate industry. There are many real estate practitioners. It's not just real estate agents and brokers. I mean, when you look at the arena of real estate, when you look at the whole industry, everyone that has a place and a space within a transaction of real estate is really a real estate practitioner. So I'm going to talk to you about what I call the solution. So let's go ahead and dive right in, because I want to value your time and I want to be able to give you as much as I can in the time that we have. So a little bit about us. We are passionate about real estate. I fell in love with real estate when I realized that real estate had changed my life. If you know a little bit about me, and maybe you do, maybe you don't, I got into real estate from the medical industry, knew absolutely nothing about real estate. You don't sell a dime in the medical field. You don't, prospect. You don't do any of the crazy stuff that we get into this industry and then end up doing. So I have become totally obsessed with real estate. I'm passionate about real estate. I've seen it change my life and the lives of many others. And I am a product of the things that I'm going to share with you today. And that's why I believe that it works. I know that it works. I have no doubt that it works. The vision of our academy, so that you know who we are. They say that we want to do business with people that we like, we know, and we trust. And I believe it's important for all of us to have a vision. And the Academy has a vision to change lives through the vehicle of real estate with knowledge, with experience, trajectory, and to co-elevate in our industry. Now, co-elevation is a word that may not be very familiar to most, but let me tell you, when I entered the rooms of Tony Robbins and being, certified by him in 2 different teachings that he does, I'm going for my 3rd one. And when I decided to really up my game and become world class, and if you have a notebook, there's some words that I'm going to tell you, you should be taking notes on, because I really believe these words are powerful. And once you engrave them, like someone says, once you engrave them into your mind, it's like the seed. They're going to start producing a harvest. And we'll talk more about that. But our vision at the Academy is simple. It's to change lives through the vehicle of real estate, taking our knowledge, our experience, our trajectory, and to really focus on co-elevation. How do we co-elevate? People talk about co-contributing and co-creating. Co-elevation is what I like to call that second mountain of success. And I'm going to share a little bit more about that later, but it's when you reach a place and a space in your life where it's no longer about you making money and you getting to the summit, getting to the top, and you being famous and you being, all that in a bag of chips. You get to that top of that first mountain of success, and then you say, nice. Okay. This is really nice. This is really good. I love it. Thank you, God. Grateful, appreciative, but what now? And so then you go for that second mountain of success where co-elevation kicks in, and that is one hand up, one hand down, and then your mindset shifts, your intention shifts, the way you now perceive and the way you have a perspective on life is totally different, because it's no longer about you. It's about the hearts, the minds, and the souls that you can touch and change. And that's why this is our vision. So I hope that that resonates with you. We have a mission. Everything that I do now in my life is local, national, and international. So everything that we do at the Academy is now no longer just local. I'm doing it nationally. I've done it nationally. And then I just launched the Academy in South America. So we are global. So our mission and our focus is to elevate real estate leaders in Southwest Florida, across the United States, and globally in a fun, interactive, and engaging way. I mean, I'm at a point in my life where if it's not fun, I don't want to do it. Because work is hard. Real estate is not easy, right? It's simple, but it's not easy. Everything we do, I don't know what you do. Maybe you're in title, maybe you are in the financial industry, maybe you're in mortgages, maybe you are a contractor, a builder, maybe you are a real estate agent, maybe you are a real estate broker, maybe you are an appraiser and a surveyor. I don't know what you do, but I know that everything we do to earn our daily bread is tough. So that's why the Academy wants to do things that are fun. Let's move into the future of real estate. And in talking about that future, I have to tell you a little bit about our story and our history and who we are and how we got to where we are, right? When I say we, I'm really talking about me, because this is my, latest and greatest, one of my babies in real estate. I've had many babies in real estate. I've been pregnant many times with visions of what I wanted to do in real estate. And this is one of them that I was able to not just conceive, but I was able to give birth to. And I like to use that analogy because I know we can all relate to conceiving and being in gestation and then giving birth to that vision that we have. And so, or to that baby right? And this is one of my babies. So I opened up in 2020, right after I transitioned from being the owner for 15 years of my own Century 21 company. And being in that space and in that place for 15 years really taught me a lot of things. But I got to that place where I just shared with you and I said, what's next? I mean, I don't see myself being like my mentor, friend, partner, coach, who now at this time was about 82 years old. And I'm like, I don't see myself doing what he's doing in my future. So I decided to open up the academy. Now, opening up the academy, and maybe you're here for one reason or another, but here's one thing that I know, and you've heard this before probably, and if you haven't, you'll hear it for the first time. Success leaves clues. Back in 2019, I decided to get licensed as a Florida real estate instructor because I had no clue how these schools worked. I had no clue how, you know, Larson, who I had always sent everyone that I recruited, I sent to Larson. I actually went to my school in 1999, which was I don't remember the name, but I know it had academy. Coincidentally, it had the word academy. And my teacher, who was the sweetest lady, her husband was a builder. And now I look back and I'm like, who would have known? Who would have known that in 1999, when I sat in that classroom, guys, let me tell you a secret, by desperation, because I had just quit a job where I had the biggest loser of a boss who had bounced 4 of my paychecks. I had 2 little kids. I was brand new to Cape Coral and I was on my last dime. I mean, let me tell you, it was do or die. So because success leaves clues, back in Miami when I was living there, I remember the property manager for the building where I was the medical administrator for a diagnostic center. She says, "Oh, I'm going to go get my real estate license." And I said, "Really? And what is that? What do you use that for?" And so she started telling me, and I was like, "All right, whatever." When I moved to Cape Coral and we purchased our first property here, the person that sold us our first property said to me, "Oh my God, you would be really good in real estate." And I'm like, "Yeah, right. Forget it. I'm not doing that. I don't know anything about real estate. I don't know anything about business. Forget about that." Fast forward a year later, after moving here and getting a job and having this gentleman bounce 4 of my paychecks, I said I should go get my real estate license. So I ended up in this school and it was out of desperation, guys. So maybe you're here out of inspiration. Maybe you're listening to this and you're listening and you're hearing this masterclass out of inspiration. But let me tell you, a lot of the breakthroughs that I've had in my life have come from desperation. So the academy started in 2020 because I had to reinvent myself. Now, I don't know if you've ever had to reinvent yourself, but I've had to reinvent myself 3 times in my real estate career. It's painful, it's lonely, it's scary. But let me tell you, once you get to the other side, it is a blessing in disguise. You actually start thanking everything for the way that it happened. So I opened up the academy because as I transitioned from my Century 21 company, I left my partner behind and now he was 82 years old. And I had always promised him that if I ever transitioned, that I would never sabotage the office. Now, you guys know a little bit about real estate, but maybe you don't know that when, you know, partnerships, you know, transition, the company dismantles a lot of times and it falls apart. And I didn't want to do that. So I opened up the academy in 2020. Well, got everything going. There's a lot more clues that God and life gave me, and success left me a lot of clues. But just when I was ready to launch, listen to this. Just when I was ready to launch, I was launching April 1st of 2020. I had my class together, all my licensing, my courses had been approved by the DBPR, which was a nightmare. I mean, I didn't know anything. Remember, I got licensed in 2019 because I wanted to grow my company. I wanted to grow my business in real estate. And I was tired of reaching out to the local real estate schools, doing all the, heavy lifting and all the hard digging and all the, strenuous pulling and pushing to fill up classes in my building at my real estate company. And then, I had to give them the majority of the profits because they were the school. So I said, let me go look into this. Now, let me tell you something about becoming a Florida licensed real estate instructor. There are no courses. No one in our area gives a course for this. No one in our area has created a master class for this. No one in our area, and I would dare to say, has even invited people like I have been inviting people for the last 2 months saying, hey, come, let me open up my treasure chest so that I can show you what you can do and how you can reposition yourself for the future. So I got licensed. I had to go sit 4 days in, oh my gosh, I thought I was like, I don't know, it was painful. I didn't want to sit at a local real estate school for 4 days and take the broker state exam prep because I was already a broker and I didn't want to have to do that. But that's the only thing I can do to refresh and know what to study because nobody tells you what to study. So I got licensed. But here you are today, and now I'm going to make your life so much easier. And you're going to see it by the end of our session that you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that I was part of this masterclass. Fast forward April 2020, what happened in the world? The pandemic hit. So here I am with my academy ready to launch, right? I had invested time, effort, labor. You know, I went through the grueling pains of uncertainty and not knowing what to do. How do I get licensed? How do I get these courses licensed? Who do I buy these books from? Who do I reach out to? So many questions, and boom, the pandemic hits. Well, you know what? The advantage was that because one of the things that I learned back in 2008, and this is one of the things you have to learn if you've never been through a market crash, if you've never been through a market shift like the one we're living right now, if you've never been through a down market, if maybe you've just been enjoying the beautiful, you know, real estate world of the last 10 years, let me tell you one thing that I learned from that market crash in 2008. If this ever happens again, or if anything ever happens that slows down the market, speed up. So the advantage of the future of your real estate career and what we're doing here today is that is exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing, because when the pandemic hit, I took my real estate class that I was going to be doing at the academy to Zoom. I had never done Zoom. I had no clue how to do Zoom. I was so scared. I was so nervous. I was dying on the inside, but I said, it's do or die. Once again, it wasn't by inspiration. Oh, let me go do a Zoom class. No, it was do or die. The blessing behind that was that now the Academy has been able to license people all the way from New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Texas, Philadelphia, and yes, of course, Florida, because when the pandemic hit, everybody wanted to get their real estate license. And I got certified. I certified the Academy to be able to do the classes on Zoom. So that is a huge advantage. And that is an advantage that you and I have now at our fingertips. And we need to take advantage of that. The other thing is that we have the proven systems. So this is actually a career opportunity for your future and the future generation of real estate professionals, because everything is in place. Our systems are proven, they work. There's advantages. You can decide, right, to take advantage of the different layers of education that we want to be doing. And that is exactly why this is the best opportunity. And I'm going to show you that in a second, why this is the best opportunity for you. So what do we actually do right now? Obviously, licensing, right? All types of pre-licensing, post-licensing we can do. We're licensed to do all that. We can do continuing education. But I want to take a moment to really share with you my biggest, deepest, widest, and highest dream of the Academy. I remember in 2021, I had a local professional come over, or maybe it was the end of 2020. I think it was the end of 2020. And this gentleman walked into the Academy and I said, let me show you the real vision and the real, you know, reason that I'm going to continue with this Academy forever. It's because it is the airport of real estate agents in Southwest Florida. And he looked at me, he laughed. And I said, you know, when you go to an airport and you see people from all different walks of life, and you see people from all different arenas of the world, you know, whether it's financial, educational, whatever. I said, and then you see all the different airlines are there, right? So the people show up, they decide to choose what airline they're going to travel with, but they're all at this airport together in one space, in one place. I said, that is the academy. The academy is the airport of real estate agents in all of Southwest Florida, from Sarasota to Marco Island. Doesn't matter what company they go work with. It doesn't matter what company they work with. It doesn't matter what brand, logo, they or color their company is. They're all going to come together because there's one thing that our area has needed and continues to need more than ever, and it is good business development education. I mean, guys, I don't know if you realize this, but being told what to do no longer works. If it worked, we wouldn't have over 60,000 real estate agents that have left the industry in the last 9 months, right? Because agents are told what to do. But this is where we come in, and we can become the future of real estate educators by showing people how to do it. And we do that through mentorship, and we do that through our own leadership. So that is the reason that all these different things are in place, and why I say that I'm looking for that new generation of instructors. I'm looking for those people that, like me, want to be certified by Tony Robbins. You know, I already mentioned to you, I'm going for my 3rd certification. I've already been certified by Success Coaching. If you know anything about Success Magazine, it's been around for over 125 years. It is a magazine that speaks and breathes success in the industry at large. I am determined to shatter the traditional, because one thing that I now know, after coming from a very traditional world, right, in real estate, is that we are in a new era of real estate. The world will never be the same again. We have gone through more changes in the last 36 months than ever before. I mean, we can't even keep up. And there's so many people that need the help of people like you and I, that have a passion for education, but that have a futuristic vision. Write that down, futuristic vision. We have great real estate schools locally, and I've worked with the owners of just about all of them. I mean, I remember in 2018 when I invited a school that you know, right, to come and teach at my company at Cloffer. And the funniest thing is that this gentleman walks in and he says, "Hi, I'm Ed Cloffer." And I said, "Oh my God, there's really a you?" Because I always thought Ed Cloffer was just a name. I didn't know. I got my broker's license at Ed Cloffer. And here he walks in, the nicest gentleman, such a nice gentleman. And, you know, and then of course we have the Larson family that, you know, runs an exceptional education organization, but it's family owned and operated. And then we have other, you know, small, you know, independent schools, some of which I also brought into my company to teach. But I'm talking about futuristic. I'm talking to you. Are you a futuristic new generation of instructors? The people that are going to come and shatter the traditional, the people that are going to come and move from here's what you do to here's how you do it. Let me change your life as well, and let me show you what to do. So that is what we do at the Academy right now. But why are we here? I've got 2 amazing instructors that have helped me maintain and sustain the Academy for the last 3 years. They're super nice people. But I'm ready for more, because now we just launched the Academy in South America. And let me tell you something about Latin America. When something comes from the US, it's like gold. I mean, they want more of it. And I said, okay, I no longer think the way I used to think in the past, which was, I can't do this. I'm not ready for this. Now the question that I've learned through all the growth and transformation that Tony Robbins has taught me, and Eric Worre, my coach, has taught me, and people like Coach Michael Burt, who I've also learned from, has taught me, is you don't ask, how am I going to do this? You say, what do I need to do this? What do I need to do this? So write that down, guys, because maybe right now, and when we're done with this master class session, you're going to be like, how do I do this? And there's so many people out there that right now are saying, I don't know how I'm going to do this. That's not the right question. The right question for your mind, which is a powerful beyond belief, to give you and bring you the answers, and for you to start living in synchronicity where things just align, your paths just open, people show up, magic starts to happen, is what do I need to do this? So when I asked that question, I said, I need instructors. And I've been looking for people like you for 2 years. Let me tell you, I've done some crazy stuff because I'm a doer. I don't know if you're a doer, but I'm a doer. Where there's a will, there's a way. And I either go through it, over it, around it, or I just bust it open and go under it. I am a doer. I asked the DBPR, I said, can you send me a list of the instructors for the state of Florida? They sent me everything from Jacksonville, the Panhandle, to Key West. I started calling local. I said, okay, let me go as far as Naples and Port Charlotte. Started calling real estate instructors. They wouldn't answer the phone. They're not answering the phone. Then other people told me, well, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm like, oh my gosh, 2 years. For 2 years. And then suddenly in August, the what do I need showed up, and it was, I need instructors. Okay, so what do I have to do to get instructors? And the thought hit me. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I am going to find the people that are open-minded about becoming a Florida licensed instructor. And would you believe it? The people showed up, and here you are. And so that brings me to the future of real estate. Let's talk a little bit about the future of real estate, because if you're going to do this, you need to know where you're coming from, where you are, and where you're going. A lot of people don't even know where we're coming from. Listen, that's the biggest problem in our real estate industry right now. People have not realized, I'm coming from 10, 8, 5 years of doing a lot of real estate easily. Where am I now? Guys, it's no secret. Everybody's feeling it. I am part of coaching sessions that are, that have the top 2% of brokers, team leaders, and agents in the nation. I'm not even talking in our area. I'm talking in the nation, the top 2%. And everyone is feeling the pain. People are laying off. People are cutting back. Business has slowed down. Even top producers can't move their inventory, right? So this leads me to whatever you are doing right here, right now in the real estate arena, you are going to feel the effect of the slowdown. Because when a property sells, statistically, it has been proven that it has a approximately $73,000 economic impact. Well, if houses aren't selling, who else is going to feel the slowdown? Mortgage people, title companies, appraisals, surveyors, home inspectors, home designers, home decorators, builders. Come on, you can fill in all the blanks. And that's where I said, okay, but all these people, just like you and just like I, have a lot of experience. Well, that's the good news. You don't even have to know how to sell a house to be a Florida licensed real estate instructor. So I already told you there's no course. I created the first one in Southwest Florida, this master class, because I'm going to teach you a lot of different stuff and ignite your potential. That's what I'm here to do, is ignite your potential. The rest is on you, right? But this is your opportunity to pivot, because the market is slowing down whether you want to or not. So what else do we do? Number two, the future of your real estate and my future is I could do this till I'm 99. Now, let me tell you a little bit about me now in my current, state of my life. I am not a producing real estate broker. That means I'm not out in the field. Now, when I go out in the field, it's to coach and train or maybe mentor, right? to show the how to do it. But I didn't want to be like, I saw some of my agents at my company, 70 something, showing properties. I'm like, oh no, I didn't even want to be like my partner, 82, behind a desk, leading 85 agents. I remember I used to tell him, I'm not going to do what you're doing. He would laugh. He goes, yeah, I know. You're going to go travel around the world. I said, exactly. And I'm bringing all my agents with me, but we're not going to be sitting in the office waiting for people to show up. Guys, this was in 2019. I didn't even know the pandemic was going to hit. And now offices are empty. Offices are empty. We have a whole new generation of people that don't even want to show up at offices, which I think is still a mistake, because you still have to be in an environment of growth and expansion and creativity and co-elevation. But that's another story. So this to me has been a way to leverage my knowledge. And I love doing it. You could ask my business development director, you could ask anybody that has seen me teach, and you can go on Google, and I want you to go on Google, and I want you to look up SWFL, Real Estate and Business Academy, and I want you to read my reviews, our reviews, because that has been my heart and soul to create that experience. And I've only been able to do it through leveraging my knowledge and taking my 23-year trajectory and repackaging it and reinventing myself, and boom, delivering it from the heart. So it's more than just 19 chapters of a book. It's more than just reading a PowerPoint presentation, which, let me tell you, a lot of good instructors, that's all they do. They flip through the book and they flip through the PowerPoint, but they don't deliver an experience. And I'm looking for a new breed of real estate instructors. And that's why I'm curating them through this masterclass, like I'm doing with you, and I'm going to continue doing with others. But here's the impact that I know I'm going to have in my industry. I am opening up a new income stream. Because let me tell you, and you can go Google this, you can go ask AI, what is the economic impact that education, business development, and coaching has in the marketplace? Well, let me just give you a little tip. This guy called Tony Robbins? Guess what industry he's in? He's in the education industry. The difference is that he has created it and recreated it in a very impactful way. What do you think Robert Kiyosaki is in? The education industry. What do you think, these, Tom Ferry, well, my trainer was Mike Ferry, his father, right? But Tom Ferry's and the Michael Hellicksons, and they're in the education industry. So this can open and has opened up a new income stream, and that is the future. Now, do you see yourself there? And do you see yourself shattering the traditional? And do you see yourself, looking for the people that are hungry, ready, happy hunters, right, in real estate that want to grow? And do you see yourself being that guiding light? If you go to my academy, there's lighthouses everywhere. Because in 2011, I had a vision that I wanted to be the lighthouse of my industry. Why not? Call me crazy. It's my prerogative, right? It's my prerogative to dream big. And once I learned that dreaming was tax-free, hey, dream as big as you want. Nobody can tax you on it, right? So what are the financial benefits? Because I want you to know, show me the money, honey, right? Like I say, no money, no honey. Show me the money, honey. Because listen, at the end of the day, everything I've told you sounds good and it makes sense, Lucy, but we got to make some money, honey. We got to make money because we got bills to pay. I was speaking with someone yesterday. I was actually speaking with an agent. And this person was telling me, and this is why I said, this is why I'm going to do this masterclass tomorrow. And I'm not stopping until I build an incredibly designed, curated organization that is just moving and shaking and building strong real estate agents. Because listen, respectfully, our associations do not show people how to do anything. They're great at membership. They're great at affiliates. They're great at what they do. That's what they do. They represent NAR at the local level, but their teachings are not meant to transform, impact, or change anybody's business. I mean, my students would, my students, my agents would go there and they were like, oh my God, that MLS, that they went through that so fast. And the instructor, she looked like she was having a bad day. She wouldn't even answer questions. I said, that's an opportunity for us. That's where we come in and we become the solution. But let's talk about the financial benefits. So you could be an advisor. You could be an advisor at the Southwest Florida Real Estate and Business Academy, and you don't even have to have a license, right? So what is an advisor? It's someone that comes in and delivers their knowledge, but not from an instructor's perspective. So this would be for someone that says, you know what, Lucy, I just want to be in front of agents. I don't know about you, but in my life, the bigger the audience of agents, the better it is for me, because I want to be bigger, bolder, more brilliant than ever before, right? I don't want to be a secret broker or a secret real estate, you know, anything. I want to be known. I don't know about you, but I want to be known, right? So an advisor is someone that can come in during our sessions of licensing, not to recruit, because I don't even recruit from my academy, because it's against the law and I like sleeping at night. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. So, but you can come and deliver knowledge content. Why? Because let me tell you, the pre-licensing course is one of the most boring courses that you'll ever teach or take, but I have found ways and I've created resources that make it fun, engaging, interactive, and people absolutely love it. That's why they put the reviews that they put on Google. And I know some of you are already reading those reviews, so thank you. But you can come in and be there, but you have to be under the supervision of the instructor, that being me or one of my other instructors. So that would be an advisor. It gives you the benefit, the financial benefit of goodwill. Write that down, goodwill. Goodwill is not tangible, it's not money, but obviously, if you paid $500 for an ad, you wouldn't even know who sees it, who hears it, who reads it, who learns about it. But being in front of people, okay, and not having to pay is an intangible asset. And so that is the goodwill. Now, the other thing is that you can be a partner. You can be an affiliate partner. And I will teach you more about that, but it's very simple. When we put a class together, or when in the future we put classes together, I'm going to give opportunities for my instructors to build their own class and actually profit share with me. So there's a financial benefit of profit sharing within the academy. So imagine, wouldn't that be cool? Not only do you get to teach, right? Like the other schools, they'll pay you. I actually had an agent at my Century 21 company. She was an instructor for Ed Kloffer, and she would go teach. Why? Because she made a couple grand, you know, for teaching the pre-licensing or whatever it was that she taught. So the partnership is better than just getting paid for teaching. It's an actual partnership. We share in the profits. Then we have satellite operators. So the vision is that we want to expand, right? We want to have exponential growth. So if you are business minded and everything aligns properly, and we share in the vision and the mission, and we create a win-win, right? Then we can open up satellite offices. Let me tell you, I can even open up a satellite office in Orlando. Like this is all the stuff that I have had to learn in the last 3 years. So let's say, for example, you know a lot of people in Orlando that want to get licensed. We already have the things in place to get permitted by the DBPR and FREC to go teach a class in Orlando or anywhere. So that is an idea of satellite operators. And then, of course, there are the mentors that want to just come in and teach, more like a trainer, more like a teacher. So there's a lot of different financial benefits that I have in place to provide, which are above and beyond the what just getting your license would give you. I was just reading the comments real quick. Thank you guys. Which is above and beyond what just getting your license would give you. Okay. So that is super important. Now, I want to dive right in to what I call this new generation of instructors, because let me tell you a little bit of the behind the scenes, right? Everything is not perfect. I certainly did not start doing this because I knew what the heck I was doing. Again, it was by desperation. But I've learned that one of my core values is excellence. Excellence. Write that word down, because more than a core value, excellence in today's marketplace. And if you are one of those people that have strong leadership skills, you always want to be measuring yourself through your excellence, your level of excellence, because in today's day and age, I'm going to tell you something, it is a new currency. Excellence is the new currency, because there's so many of us. There's so many people doing what we do. There's so many people that could be doing what we do, but excellence is always going to set you apart. So in this new generation and these concepts, I'll tell you a little secret. I had a class that I put together. I'm not going to say names, but I'll just give you the story. I put this class together, right? And so normally I teach my classes with my 2 instructors, because that gives me a little bit of bandwidth so I can do all these other things that I'm doing. Because let me tell you, I'm in a place in my life where my life is like a game of chess. I've got all these moving pieces, and at any moment, I mean, if you look at me, I'm in Colombia, I'm here, I'm doing the Southwest Florida Realtor Mastermind, I'm teaching a class, you know, I'm doing real estate. I don't even know how I do, but it keeps me, I don't know. I'm really good under pressure. And I even question myself sometimes, and I don't know, you may be like me, I'm like, why do I put myself through this? But that's just me, right? I thrive in that type of environment. It's like sink or swim. I'm going to swim. Don't know how, but I'm going to swim. So I put this class together, and we had created the outline. So, you know, when you open up an academy, you have to have your curriculum, and you have to, there's a lot of, you know, systems and structure and framework that goes into play, because it's not just, you know, okay, I'm doing a class and people show up. I put the class together. I had told one of my instructors, you're going to do these days, I'm going to do these days. Long story short, I always open up my classes. The first day, nobody teaches but me. Why? Because that is the most important part for me. I am the representation. I am the essence. I am the breath of the Southwest Florida Real Estate and Business Academy. I am the responsible one. The buck stops with me. Excellence has to be in every space that of everything that we do, from the moment they walk in, how we register them, how we greet them, how we give them that experience. Well, you know, life is not perfect, right? So my other instructor shows up, does what he does. Then the next time I show up, my students were like, please do not tell us we're going to have to do class with so-and-so again. Please, we cannot take it. And literally my class was about to crumble. And I'm like, oh my God. And then they started giving me, right? It's like mommy walked in the room. They started telling me all the things that, how they felt. And then of course you always have the beauty of I'm telling you, the beauty of this is there's always different people that are in every class. So you have the quiet ones, you have the snappy ones, you've got the gritty ones, you have the vocal ones, you have the ones that don't say anything. Let me tell you, all of them in one accord were like, no, please, please, please. And then they started giving me all the, you know what I had to do? I had to suck it up, Buttercup. And I had to find a very respectful and diplomatic way to tell my instructor, don't worry, I'm going to take it from here. And I had to take responsibility. I couldn't blame my instructor. I couldn't blame anybody else. See, blaming is the worst habit that humans have. I took responsibility and I taught the whole class by myself, because they were not happy with either one. I don't know if they were having a bad day. It was a bad moment. Long story short, I redesigned, I pivoted, and now I repositioned them to work from strength. So the new generation of instructors comes from concepts that I can tell you most real estate instructors in our local market, and I've been with many of them, do not have. You know why they don't have it? Because you don't know what you don't know. You don't know that, standing in front of the room and reading a PowerPoint presentation while your back is turned to the class turns everybody off. You don't know that standing in the front of the room and lecturing like a professor, because that's your style, disengages everyone. So the new generation of real estate instructors are people that bring life experience for learning, futuristic thoughts and ideas, new concepts, new precepts, people that know how to touch the heart and touch the mind and energize the room, and people that teach and inspire and motivate, and people that bring that personal growth. Let me tell you, people need role models now more than ever. The offices, the brokers are lost and confused, and the agents are drowning, and they don't even know it. They don't even know it. So this is our opportunity to bring this to the marketplace by helping people plan and helping people grow and empowering them, not just teaching them, empowering them, and creating an environment that is magnetic. Write that down. You want to be a magnetic field for your customers, for your audience. You want to be a magnetic field for your clientele, whoever it is that you serve. You have to become. Lucy, how do you become? You start being that person. You start being that person so you can become that person. You start acting like that person, right? Because we all are a certain way. Like, we all know how we are, right? Raise your hand. We all know. Say, yes, I know how I can be. I know how I am. And it's reaching that level of consciousness. Write that down. I have to be more conscious of one. Let me tell you guys, this was not the Lucy from back in the day. This is like the redesign of Lucy. But it was because I learned that, where have I been? Where am I now? And where am I going? And the where I was going and the where I was did not align. And maybe that's you now, right? So I can teach you all this stuff because I've been there, I've done that, I've experienced it, and I am now a product of it. So this is what I mean by the new generation of instructors. People that create an environment that is filled with an uplifting energy. I mean, when you walk in a room and you take a sigh, right? When you walk in a room and you're like, oh my God, what time is it? It's 10 and I have to be here till what? I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. So mentally you eject, right? Mentally you're out and you just sit there. So creating that environment of an impactful experience. And I'm going to show you how we create this at the Academy. And whether you become one of my business partners, advisors, one of my mentors, my trainers, whether you get licensed or not, I don't know what you're going to do. That's up to you, right? We're going to continue to be friends. We're going to continue to be colleagues in the real estate arena. We're going to continue to, collaborate and contribute at the mastermind and do whatever we do, wherever we do it. But I want to leave you with these thoughts because this could be even impactful for your business. Like, how am I operating my business? And how can I be more excellent? And how can I create an environment of impact? Like, when people come into my office, I have an environment that is magnetic, it smells good, it feels good, it looks good. Just talk to my staff. I am like, listen, turn on the music because we're not having a funeral here today. We need some vibe, right? So it's creating that type of environment so that we can be co-elevators of each other, so that we can co-elevate with each other. So let's dive right into the concept. So the first concept that I want to share with you, because for me and my responsibility and my commitment to you is not just to come in here and tell you, oh, here's what you do to pass the Florida licensing state exam. It's to really give you the value and the life-changing ideas that you can implement and use them wherever. So the first concept is learning styles. Let me tell you, I had no idea that there was even such a thing. And then I realized that a lot of instructors don't know. That's why the associations are not making a difference. Because the biggest, listen, if you want to teach at the association, you either have to have a license. So even getting your license will open doors for you at the association. Or you have to go to the FAR convention and you have to take the leadership course, right? You pay for, I don't know, like a whole bunch of money for. And then you have to go audition in front of, a group of people. And then they get to, judge you and say whether you qualify to teach or not. But that's really not at the core of what our industry needs. Our industry needs people that understand the different learning styles. So what's the first learning style? The visual people. Show me, move your hands, walk. I remember in 2014, Floyd Wickman came to my Century 21 company, and he did if you don't know who Floyd Wickman is, Mike Ferry is like the #1 traditional real estate trainer in the nation. And Floyd Wickman is like the #2. They've been around forever. I think they taught Jesus how to sell real estate. They've been around forever, ever, ever, ever. So I learned from them. So he was at my training center in Cape Coral, and all the Century 21 offices came together, and I got to host it. And he said to me, you need to come to my Speakers Academy. And I said, and what is that? And so I flew up to Michigan. It was December of 2014. I flew up to Michigan, and I was part of his Floyd Wickman Speakers Academy. And let me tell you, my friends, there is so much more to speaking and being a good speaker than you would ever imagine. And so they literally drilled us for 4 days, on techniques, on concepts, on modalities, on what to do, and the rest. And you would just go up there, and the rest of the class got to basically beat you up and tell you everything you did wrong, and then you have to go again, and they would drill you. And on the last day, you had to do your performance. And I was so happy because I got the top grade in the class. Now, I don't think I got the top grade in the class because I was really that good at what I did. I had just practiced so much, because what they didn't know is that I had started training and teaching my agents since 2012, again, by desperation, because after the market crash, I went from 125 agents at my Century 21 company to 19, and 18 of them were not producing. And I thought I was going to die. So I started training them. So practice makes perfect. And one of the things that I have now learned is that there's different learning styles. So when you walk into a room, you have to know, who is the person in front of me? What kind of a learner are they, so that I can make the biggest impact, so that I can empower them the most, so that I can connect with them. Let me tell you, people like to connect with people that they like, they know, and they trust. And if you are not becoming, by being a person that is likable, that you open up to them, with stories or with your experience, and that you can give them permission to trust you, right? By using that connection, then you're not going to be effective. You're not going to be effective, and you're not going to fall in love with what you do. So visual learners, I'm not going to read it to you, but it's there. It's the people that they look like they're not paying attention, but they're paying attention, right? And a lot of times we walk into a class and we think people aren't paying. Listen, this happened to me. When I read this, I said, oh, that's why people are with their heads down doodling, right? Because keeping their eyes on the PowerPoint or on me is too much stimulation for their brain. So they start to doodle. That helps them learn better. Then we have people that are auditory learners. They're the people that are always teacher, 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 teacher. They interrupt the class, right? They ask a question, or they just, speak out loud. They have to hear themselves saying what they learned, because that's exactly how they start to retain, right? So they repeat a lot of what you say. And maybe, and a lot of times, and I don't know if this has happened to you, because I know you may identify with which one of these are you, or you may identify with a teacher or trainer or instructor that, did not understand which one you were. So, that's why we have to be more conscientious of who we're teaching and what we're doing. So auditory learners, they tend to use sound. So they speak out loud, they ask more questions, they interrupt, they start talking to their neighbor while you're teaching, right? So this is just the way their brain is. Then we have people that read and write. They need more stimuli. They need, they're going to go do all the research. And let me tell you, and this is something that is very humbling. And this is something that we have to, let me just take a moment to do a parenthesis. Our industry is very egotistical. We come from an industry that is filled with a lot of ego. And one of the things that I've learned in the last 4 years is that as frontline leaders, which you hear me say certain words a lot over and over and over, because that's exactly what I'm envisioning, frontline leaders, people that are leading from the front, people that are role models, people that are getting out of the box, breaking the box, and building a new box so that then you can have an impact and influence others, right? One of the things that I've learned is that we have to be very humble, very transparent, and very vulnerable. And I know that these are words that we may identify with being weak, but actually it takes more strength to be humble, vulnerable, and transparent than to be filled with ego. So why do I say this? Because you're going to be teaching a class, and one of these style learners is going to go home at night, because that's all they're doing, right? They're focused on learning. They're going to research something you said and how you said it, and they're going to come back to class, and in front of the class, they're going to correct you. They're going to correct you, and they're going to prove you wrong because they went and they researched it. Okay. Humbling moment. It's okay not to know everything. And I'm the first one to tell my students, listen, my responsibility here in this class is to facilitate your path to learning and getting to take your state exam. I am not going to memorize 19 chapters of this book, because at the end of the day, we don't use this in our daily life. Now, I will do everything in my power to facilitate, guide, direct you through these uncharted waters that you've never navigated, but I am as imperfect as they come. So these are the students that you are going to be, in front of. Then we have the kinesthetic learners, the people that like doing it, the people that will read, and the people that will volunteer, and the people that will, be the leader of the pack, and the people that are more interactive, and the ones that, let me tell you, there are some teachers that I've been in their classrooms that I'm like dying because they want to go like forever without a break. Like, I need a break. I'm more kinesthetic. I need a break. So keeping these things in mind is going to make you very impactful. And I want you to be able to say one day, I got into this and I learned how to be the way I am, and people love what I do the way I do it because Lucy taught me. Like, if you become a rock star, I know I've got a little seed in your success. I've got that little seed in your success, right? So to me, that is so, I don't know, joyful. It just makes me happy, makes me happy. I like being happy, like for real, I like being happy. Concept number 2 is teaching styles, right? The teaching styles. We all have different teaching styles. And so there are teachers, and I think one of my instructors was guilty of this, right? He just stood in front of the class, and all he did was talk, because he comes from being a professor, and the students were ready to slash their wrists and walk out, and they weren't happy. But, that's just the way he is. So is that you? Is that what you like to do? Just talk, right? And even if you're the one talking, if you notice, I'm doing stories. I'm asking you thought-provoking questions. I am, making sure that what I say is going to touch one of the different styles of you learning. Maybe you're reading what is on the screen. Maybe, you're relating to what we're talking about. So in the teaching style, that is one of the the things that you need to know. The teacher-centered, like I just said, is just that person that lectures all the time. Then we have the student-centered. The student-centered, and in a moment, we are going to shift into a little bit of the student-centered so that we can actually practice what we preach, right? And give you an opportunity to also raise your hand and ask your questions. But the student center is more interactive. And even when I do classes on Zoom, and I just launched the first hybrid where I had people in class, I was like, why do I I'm always asking myself that, why do I do this to myself? Oh, now I'm stressed out. I had people on Zoom. I had people in class. But you know what? At the end of the day, it worked. It worked. And I got to experience that. But it was challenging keeping everyone. But one of the things that I did was I put the people that were on Zoom into breakouts, and having people engage with each other and having people brainstorm with each other. And then we have the blended approach, which is, like I just said, some people on digital, some people face-to-face. Now, I know that we're living in an era where a lot of people are all Zoomed out, but we still have people, and they want to show up. Like last month, I had a class, and I was like, I hope they all go on Zoom. They all wanted to be in person. I'm like, oh my goodness, okay, right? Because people are Zoomed out. So having and knowing that you can do this as well, and that you can be an instructor that starts to promote licensing to people all around the United States, because God knows everybody wants to come to Florida, right? And that's what we get to do. Concept number 3 is the first day of class. And before I get into concept number 3, I want to take a quick break here and kind of give everyone an opportunity to raise their hand and ask questions. So if we can pause the recording real quick, that would be perfect. To business. Okay, so we're back to business, guys. And so we're going to go into concept number 3. So concept number 3 has to do with the first day of class. And the first day of class is really the most important, one of the most important days. That's why I never give my first day of class to anyone. And that's why I feel that it is so important that as an instructor, that you really recognize that you're doing more than just transmitting information. You're taking the opportunity to be able to connect with people at a deeper level, connect with people at a higher level. So the first day of class, one of the most important things, and the reason that I do it, and something that I want to share with you, is you want to create that first impression, that lasting first impression. You want to, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? John Maxwell says that. If you're ever heard John Maxwell, he's a leadership coach. And I believe that to be true. I believe that in this new generation of instructors, we need more people teaching, leading from the front, being those role models that really understand the concept of, I could know it all, but at the end of the day, you're not going to care how much I know until you know that I really care. And so even in this masterclass here with you, and when I've done this before, I want you to know that this is just the beginning. I'm giving you the highlights. I'm giving you the what to do, the how to do it, the where, my experience, my stories. But this is just the beginning, because one of my commitments is to continue with you till the end and give you my unlimited support and really bring value beyond what I'm giving you, right? Beyond the information and the concepts that I'm giving you and things like that. Like I did at the beginning, people want to know about you. People want to do business with people that they like, they know, and they trust. And here's something really interesting about knowing. It's not what we see in social media, because what we see in social media is the part that people want to highlight about themselves. But sometimes it's, the stories of failure, like I shared with you earlier, having to just suck it up and take over a class that I was not intending to have to do by myself, but that was the responsible thing to do. Bringing clarity of expectations and the learning objectives. When I started this session with you today in this masterclass, which for you is something you've never done before or never heard before, and even if you went to another class that they're talking about how to do this. You always have to bring your differentiating factor. We all have a differentiating factor. We all have something that we do in a way that we do it that differentiates us, that makes us different. And that is super important, and no one else can deliver that for you. I don't care how much AI we want to implement in our business and use. There's something about what you do, the way you do it, and you want to write this down. If you want to get really powerful at leveraging your differentiating factor, one thing that I've learned is you have to be authentic. You have to be authentic. I've heard this said before, maybe you have as well. We're all born an original. Let's not die a copy of someone. So what is that authenticity that you bring to the table? What is it that you do in a way that you do that no one else can copy, even though they're doing the same, right? They're teaching the same, they're talking the same, they're in the same field that you are, but you do it with your authenticity. And that's really your signature. That is your biggest trademark. Having clear expectations, like I did at the beginning, showing up, connecting at the heart with people, engaging their mind, letting them know, listen, we're going to go on a journey together and you are going to absolutely love this masterclass. That was the first thing I said to you guys when we started. You are going to be so happy you took this. This is going to open up ideas and visions and thoughts that you have never even had. You're going to walk away with actionable items, even in your current business. This is going to go beyond just getting your Florida instructor's license. And at the end of the day, that is the objective, to go above and beyond. Helping students to get to know each other. We haven't done that part because of the framework that we have here in this master class and the way that it is delivered. It is more of an experience of knowledge, in depth, a path to your success in getting your license and how we're going to support you in that trajectory. But when you're in class, especially, when you're connected with people, you want to walk into even if you're on Zoom, and let me share something with you that I've learned from top level coaches like Lucy. Go look up, I'm sure most of you know Tony Robbins, but go look him up. Go look up Eric Worre, who was my coach last year. Go look up Coach Michael Burt, out of Tennessee. They are all preaching and teaching, turn on your cameras. Why? Because there's energy even through video. So why am I sharing that with you? Because you want to be that magnetic field that creates that experience that is different, right? And so we come from so many Zooms and everybody walks in with a black bag over their heads, which is what we call it, right? It would be like being in a meeting and you walk in with a black bag over your head and all they see is your name. So creating that expectation and helping people connect with each other. You want to set the tone for the entire course. Let me tell you, I've taught classes where I was not feeling well. I was not on my A game. I didn't feel like being world class. I wasn't energetic, enthusiastic, or contagious of enthusiasm. But that was my responsibility. That was my responsibility. That was not the responsibility of my students, the people that trusted the academy to show up and feel. I remember one time I had a class going on at my company at Century 21. And the next day when I showed up, it was an evening class, right? Because obviously we can talk more about that in our engaging session at the end. But we could do classes whenever we want. We can do them Monday through Friday. We can do them Monday to Monday. We could do them evenings. We can do them half days, full days. We can do them 3 days, 2 weekends, whatever. I mean, we can do classes whenever we want. And I remember in this particular class, it was in the evening, and the next morning when I walked in, the students had reached out and they were saying, look, the instructor just comes in. She tells us to read pages this, that, and the other. She tells us what chapters we have to do the final questions on. And then she just gets on her computer and starts working. And so I was like, that is not the tone that I want. That is not the experience that I'm looking to deliver for the people that have trusted me to come here to get their license. So setting the tone and visualizing, guys, listen, that's why I'm going to keep saying this. We have to, our area, our industry, our marketplace needs a new generation of instructors, because there are some instructors that they are so traditional that they have become irrelevant. And let me tell you, I believe everybody needs to have a real estate license. I believe everyone that has a real estate license is going to need to learn how to close more business. And that's where you and I come in, and we like, boom, we're like the Rambos. We bring the solution. It's like, real estate industry takeover, but with a purpose. So setting the tone, collecting baseline data. We have a structure. I mean, and it's all laid out. I mean, we have a system in place. When people show up, this is what happens. This is what happens. This is what we do. This is how we set it up. Even if it's on Zoom, we replicate that system. So envisioning your outcome, you as the new generation instructor, you have the power, like the song, I got the power. You got the power. You get to decide what is your trademark in the industry. Who are you going to be known for, right? Who is going to talk about what you do and how you do it? And so you envision how this is going to end up. So one of the things that we do at the Academy is we have our graduation day. And let me tell you, I laugh because all these things have been done by trial and error. Like one day we did the graduation after they took their final exam. Those people were so dying to just get home and tell their family. It was a flop. Our graduation party was not a party. It was like they left all the food. We took pictures. So now we, constantly we are debriefing. What did we do? How did we do it? How do we fix it? What worked? What didn't work? So now we switched it up. One of the things I said, I will never do a graduation final exam on a Sunday. That is not a good day. It doesn't work. It doesn't flow. I want to feel the flow. I want to feel, like when something is just vibing, it just flows. And so then the other thing we had to change was we're doing the graduation party before. We're not going to wait till they're done. We're celebrating as if they already passed, and it worked out beautifully. So, getting the knowledge of who's who in the class as well. What do you do? Where are you coming from? In this master class, we're going to do it backwards because of the environment that we're in and how this is all unfolding. But we always want to know who's who and why are they there? Why real estate? Or if you are going to be teaching students that are already licensed, why are they at their company? What do they like best? What are they missing? How happy are they? What would make them happier? It's that personal connection. Arousing the students' interest in the course content, let me tell you, and everything begins for you. It should begin with teaching, because you are going to learn so much. Everything begins at the Academy with the instructors, with teaching a part or a few chapters or sections of the 63-hour pre-licensing, because this is where you start to really find out who are you and learn who are the students, who's the audience, and how to maneuver all of that, because it's so many moving pieces. And then, of course, you always got to tell people what's going to happen at the end. What can you do? What can you not do? How is this going to all work out? How is it all going to come together? Conducting the class is super important. That's the fourth concept I want to share with you. Preparing things in a way that is really going to be relevant to people. Identifying, like I said to you at the beginning, I said, okay, this is what we're going to cover. We're going to talk about the future. We're going to talk about the Academy, what we do, how we do it. I'm going to give you the reasons why I believe this is such an incredible opportunity for you right now. The fact that the market is slowing down, the fact that you can leverage your knowledge, the fact that you can open up a new income stream, the fact that you can become the local, I don't know, Oprah, Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki, whoever you want to be of the real estate industry through education, right? Through education and just really transmitting the mess. I say it this way nowadays, and I say it this way often. I say, you want to be the messenger with the right message. That's who you want to be. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you do closings, real estate, if you're a broker, if you run a company, if you do mortgages, if you do credit restoration, because by the way, everybody and anybody can be a Florida licensed instructor. Okay. So that is the beauty of this. So I know, people that would probably be very good instructors. And you can also help them by inviting them to the next masterclass. So preparing the class, conducting the class. Oh my goodness, conducting the class. Having a goal in advance, knowing this is how I want this to flow. This is my intent. And I say it this way, and you may want to write this down because I'm telling you, this is even going to help you in your own business, is you have to be intentional and you have to be very premeditated about everything you do now. Why, Lucy? Why is that important? There's so many people doing so many different things. We're living in a world of total distraction. I mean, scientists are saying that adults have like a 15-second attention span, right? If you're on social media, you got to catch people's attention in 3 seconds. So being intentional is knowing what I want to feel and what I want to see at the end, and being premeditated about it is, how am I going to make that happen? So preparing your learning goals in advance, knowing how you're going to help people navigate through your class. I don't care if you're teaching the 63 hours. Let me tell you, it's the same thing over and over. It's the same stuff. If you have your real estate license, and it doesn't matter for this, but just to give you an idea, it's the same 19 chapters that we have been seeing forever and ever and ever. However, we can all do it differently, and we can all do it from a more relevant perspective. So how do you want to see this close out? What do you want people to feel? Being premeditated about that. And that's what I mean by being intentional and being premeditated about everything you do, and envisioning, you know, when I walk in, when I talk, or when I talk about this subject, or even for me, I've had to develop a lot of resources for teaching, because everybody gets, who wants to read 19 chapters? So we create prezis, and we create math presentations, and we create crossword puzzles, and you know, and we create breakouts, and we do, you know, competitions, and just because we want to make it so engaging. Create a plan with the students in mind. Everybody has different learning strategies, you know, even and I'm using a lot of the things that they teach at the state level to instructors, but personally, I give a 10-minute break. Okay, unless we're on a subject matter where, I mean, the time is just flying by, and let me tell you, it does happen. But I gauge the room. My intention is always to have my pulse, my finger on the pulse of the classroom. You know, so I observe, I feel, I sense, I get very perceptive about, okay, where are we now, or what would make this better, or how can we improve? And so it says here 15-minute breaks every 2 hours, but you may want to do 10-minute breaks every hour, just because of whatever you're covering, and giving people in the room time to absorb, and really observing the people that you have, because this is your audience. And something really, really valuable about your audience is they are gifting you with their life. That's the way I see it. Like, you guys are gifting me with your life. You guys could be doing so many other things, but something said to your heart and soul and your mind, yeah, accepted it, that I'm going to go to the masterclass. I want to see what Lucy's going to share with me, because I believe this is what I can do next. I believe this is where I want to go next. So being able to do that, and really understanding that that is exactly what students are doing with us. They are trusting us, right? They're trusting us to guide them and lead them. They're respecting the process, because that's one thing I learned, right? Before, I used to think, well, people have to respect me. No, they have to respect the process and trust me to facilitate their success. That's all I can do. Same with you here. You're trusting me to give you valuable content, insight, concepts, and to help you navigate these uncharted waters and get you to the other side, where you can say, I got my Florida licensed instructor, and then you decide what to do with this. So creating that plan with the students in mind is super important, because people feel it. Listen, preparation is an intangible people feel. And you and I both know when we're not prepared for something. And I'll be the first one. I've said to my business development director, I was not on point today. I was not on point. Like, And people won't even know, right? Because they don't know what my on point is or what my not on point, and we can all fake it till we make it, but you know. So creating that plan and really holding yourself accountable to deliver. Here's a word that Eric Worre taught me last year in my coaching, and I was like, wow. He said, whatever you do, be world class. Be world class at whatever it is that you do. And a lot of times, it's not even how we look. It's not even it's more of that energy of world class. It's knowing that, listen, I am giving you my best. And if my best is my best, that's my best. And really holding yourself accountable to that. So creating that plan. The instructor should always prepare, right? Always prepare. And trust me, there's been moments, and I have to be the first one to raise my hand. Have I been perfect at this? No, there's been moments where I've had to scramble. But, it's kind of like playing football. You have something in mind, but then when the time to play comes in, I mean, that's where you have to bob and weave, and it's going to take more effort. It's going to take more effort. One of the things that happened at the academy one time was the students complained that the instructor was reading the PowerPoint. And that immediately told me there was no rehearsing, there was no preparation. So one of the things that I did to correct that, and one of the things that I'm going to continue to do to correct that is, when we hire instructors, and now that I'm curating our own instructors, and especially once we start teaching people in Spanish, which I haven't even spoken about that, because that is a whole different arena of opportunity, because nobody does, high level, intentional, valuable money making real estate activity in Spanish. And you have no idea how many great real estate agents are out there that would learn better in Spanish. So one of the things that I'm going to do is mentor my instructors. See, when I opened up the academy, I was like a teenage mother. I had these little kids, and I needed to, put food on the table. And I didn't mentor my instructors. Now I have, right? Because I learned, when you know better, you do better. But when you don't know what you don't know, you just do the best you can. So one of the things that I will be offering is that mentorship, showing here's what you do and here's how you do it, and then giving the opportunity to test and contest. So you also have to think of that and say, okay, so who's going to mentor me so that I can become a rock star instructor? Energize a group. Me, I can do that, naturally, but not everyone is like me. Not everyone is like me, but you need to know you, and you need to know what your best you could be like, and who do you want to be like. When I took certification with Tony Robbins, oh my God, this man is at another hemisphere. This man lives in another hemisphere mentally, because one of the rituals that he has, and you would think like, this is crazy, but you know what? When you're at that level, it's no longer crazy, it's required. Because once you've trained Oprah Winfrey, and once you've trained, I mean, multimillionaires and billionaires and ministers and presidents around the world, I think you know a little bit about what you're doing. And this is the level that he's at. But one of the things that he does in his morning ritual is he jumps into freezing water. He's got like a tank in the back of his house. And if you've never seen this, I'm going to tell you, go see it, because it is so enlightening. Go watch I Am Not Your Guru on Netflix by Tony Robbins. And this is a non-paid, non-political announcement, but I just admire. And he said, the reason I do this is because I have trained my brain that when I say we go, we go. No discussion. And that's why he's able to transform people, because when you're playing at that level, you have an energy that is contagious. Depression is contagious. COVID is contagious. Well, good energy is contagious too. But you as the instructor, you as the new generation instructor, you as the mentor, that is your responsibility. You are being entrusted with lives of people that want to to learn and want to grow. And that is why this is such a huge opportunity, because no one is out there sharing these tactics and these techniques. And that's why we walk in to great places like the education center at the association, and you're like, oh my Lord Jesus, help me. And nothing happens. And people come in and come out and they buy the passport. It ain't the passport. And they listen to whatever they listen to. And I'm not saying that it's bad, it's good. But is it the best? And that's what we want to be. So you energize the group, you walk in, you team build, you lead from the front. Let me tell you something. And I learned this in Leadership Academy in my last certification in June. You know why the world is starving for another level of leadership? Because the best level of leadership is being a role model. And the problem with being a role model and with the leaderships that we see in today's day and age is people are willing to tell other people what to do, right? People are willing to tell people what to do. People are willing to tell people they need to change. But the person they are not willing to change is themselves. And that is the ultimate leadership. The ultimate leadership doesn't come from you having a bunch of followers and telling them what to do. The ultimate level of leadership is you being able to grow yourself and change yourself first. Because people will respect the change they see happen in you, even if you have to tell them, listen, I am perfecting my morning ritual because I was the most undisciplined person. I shortchanged myself. I didn't take care of myself, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and I want to be at my optimum level. And these are all the changes people want to see, and people will see them. My coach, my favorite coach, John Cheplack, which I've been learning from since 2015, and he is, oh my God, I remember when I went to one of his sessions in Las Vegas in 2015 or 16, and there was like 8 people in the room, and I was one of them. And now he is the elite trainer for the top 2% of real estate performers and producers in the US and Canada. But he didn't start there. He's a recovering addict. He has a story and he shares his story. And there's one thing that in our community, we have learned and we've decided, if I have a coach that doesn't show me that they do what they're telling me to do, they're fired. And that is the problem. We have so many people teaching and leading, but not implementing and not being a role model of what they're teaching and leading, right? And so that is where there's a huge opportunity for all of us. So energize the group, maintain that energy till the end, make it fun, make it interactive. It's not about you, right? It's about them. We would not have an academy if it wasn't for our students and the people, the adults that are looking to learn with us and for us. I would not be an international real estate and business coach right now if I didn't have people outside of the US that are trusting me to guide them and lead them. I wouldn't be where I'm at if I didn't have people like yourself and everyone else. So now this is where I'm taking you guys into understanding that we are in the development. We are in the human resource business, and we are entrusted with developing people. See, we think that we're in real estate or title or appraisal or survey or home inspection or construction or builder or whatever. No, we are in the human resource business, and we are entrusted with developing people, right? So there's a difference between just teaching, regurgitating information, and what I am encouraging you is to put at the forefront of your mind, I'm going to be a human inspirer. I'm going to be a human motivator. I'm going to be a human empowerer. I am going to develop the art of empowerment like nobody else before. And then you go and you learn, you go and you get coaching, you go and you put yourself in rooms and next to people, and you develop the power of association, right? We become the sum of the 5 people we hang around with. We all know that, but do we really understand the essence of it? Do we really understand the essence of it? And if you're not around people, then that is another problem. Trust me, I know, because for some time I wanted to be by myself, right? It was all just me. I'm going to do this. And I learned alone, I'm not as strong. Alone, I'm not as brilliant. Alone, I'm not as able. Together, we can do so much more. So it's keeping this in mind that whatever you're doing, you are empowering other people, and you never know what an impact you can have on that person. So for example, I'm sharing with you guys my treasure chest, my experience, my history, how I got here, what happened, what was good, what was bad, what was ugly, being vulnerable, transparent, humble, sharing stories, right? All this to instill in you how much more you can do. Because if I've gotten this far, my ceiling can be your floor. And that's what I'm looking to do, is to create this new opportunity for people in my local market. And that's what I love doing now. So I say that I'm looking for my 3H kind of people. Like I come up with these crazy things in my mind, and then I start saying them over and over and over, right? I'm reprogramming my mind, rewiring my brain. So I said, I'm looking for 3H kind of people. Happy, hustling, hunting people. People that want to hunt for business. Happy, hustling hunters, because that's what our market is going to need right now. You and your business, you need 3H kind of people. Happy, hunting hustlers, people that just know, listen, you got to go hunt. Business is not going to come to us. This isn't going to get easier. As a matter of fact, let me give you guys a little inside scoop. The next 3 years are going to be defining years for all of us. But the next 5 years are the most important in our life. So the next 36 months are going to be defining. We are going to see people we never thought be out of business, out of business. We are going to see people that we never imagined could speed up and make it and become, market crushers and rock stars and empire builders, right? And movers and shakers and world changers and gladiators of change and history makers. Step up. Which one are you going to be? Because it's going to happen with or without us. So the art of empowerment is super important. And then we talk about, I always say this, because I remember being in classrooms where I was afraid to speak, because if I said the wrong thing, I felt reprimanded. I don't know if anybody's ever been in those kind of rooms, or you felt condemned, or you just felt like, okay, I feel stupid because of the energy in the room. So I always say this because I want to encourage my students and the people that I'm coaching, right? And I get to coach some beautiful people into production now. So people that want to grow their companies, I get to coach them, and people that want to, hire more people, I get to help them, and people who want to produce more business, and I get to help them, right? And I just get to lead them in these uncharted waters. I get to invite them to come out of that red ocean of chaos and confusion and competition, and let's find the flow in a way to get you into your own blue ocean of opportunities, where you could do whatever you decide to do. And my job is to help you get there faster. My responsibility and commitment is to facilitate that path to success into that blue ocean. And then you get to do the same with other people. But it's giving people permission to make mistakes by always telling them there's no shame in the game. And I say to people, listen, it doesn't matter what, because listen, we've all been in classes where they ask a question, the teacher asks a question. So, how many square feet are in an acre? I don't know. How many square feet are in an acre? And you're waiting for people to answer. Well, people don't want to answer because their brain is saying, you don't know, you're going to sound stupid, you're going to make a mistake. What if you're wrong? Don't speak. And so then you say, listen, we're learning. So this is a no judgment zone. No shame in the game. I just want to help you. So help me to help you. Tell me what you think it is. Even if you're right and even if you're wrong, there's no judgment. And now they all start to speak up. You know what's being built? Trust. It's called trust. Telling people that there is a no judgment zone, telling people that they have permission to make a mistake. It builds trust. And that is so important when creating that environment. The last concept that I want to share with you, because I'm telling you, you learn these concepts, you apply these concepts, I'm telling you from experience, this will make you unstoppable. If you practice this and you practice this and you perfect the art of your game and you become world class. An effective instructor always has to know, like I said earlier, be so premeditated on what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? And what do I want to see happen at the end? And so you reverse engineer the whole thing, because you're going to have people in there that are from all walks of life, right? And you're going to criticize some psychologically, because that's called being human, right? Like, oh my God, this person is never going to make it. You have to catch yourself and stop yourself, right? Because believe it or not, we have psychological conversations with people. So that is where you get to be that effective instructor that focuses on the potential. Let me tell you, if people would have judged me by what I looked like or what I acted like or who I was when I went to my first real estate class, I would not be here. Because if anyone had everything stacked up against them, if anyone has ever had everything they needed to fail in real estate, that was me. Like, that was me. However, I've been blessed enough to surround myself with people that believed in me even before I believed in me. I've been blessed enough to surround myself with people that decided to invest in me because they saw the potential. Now, don't get me wrong. I've never been given anything on a silver platter, but they opened the door and the rest was up to me. So it's having the ability to make everyone feel like you could do this. I don't care what your socioeconomic level is. I don't care where you come from. I don't care. Listen, if I could do it, you could do it. Because you never know. I mean, look at the stories we read of nowadays. I mean, the Denzel Washingtons, the Oprah Winfreys, people that should not be who they are, but they made a decision and they surrounded themselves with people like you and I that are ready, willing, and able to help them grow. So now I want to get into the nitty gritty. I shared with everyone that, the book you should purchase, which is this book, right? Let me see if I can, I don't know if I can turn this off. Probably, oh yeah, I'll be here. So if you didn't get the book, you want to get the book, because I have found, and again, I don't work for Dearborn, but this is the best book for studying, because again, there's no course for becoming a Florida licensed real estate instructor. There's a little manual that tells you this is what you should learn. And then you're like, okay, so where do I go do this? And that's where I come in, right? Because I'm a problem solver. The more problems you solve, the more you grow and the more you help other people grow. So you purchase this book, and if you have this book with you, what I want to do is share with you exactly how this is going to work out, because I want to get, there you go, Karina, you got it. Good for you. So, and if you don't have it yet, don't worry. Once you get it, you reach out to me and I'm going to send you the cheat sheet on whatever you need. So if you open up this book, I'm going to tell you the most important chapters that you want to study. And I'm going to tell you the percentage of the grade for the Florida instructor's license state exam. So the most important chapters in this book that you purchase, and I believe it has 19 sections. It has 19 sections, but it's smaller than the other real estate book. But when it comes to section 1, 2, and 4, you want to highlight those sections, because 44% of your final exam is going to come from those sections. 44%. Right? So it's section 1, 2, and 4. Section 1, 2, and 4 is 44%. Then you're going to have sections 9, section number 10, section number 13, section number 15, section number 16, 17, 18, and 19. But the biggest amount comes from there. So now what I want to do, now that I gave you that part, So at least you know which ones you have to focus on the most. I'm also going to break it down for you and make it even easier for you to study. But basically, here are the steps for you to do this. You go online and you apply for your Florida real estate license for as an instructor. And there's 3 ways to get your real estate instructor's license, right? One of them says you have to have a bachelor's and you have to have a broker's license, and that's one way, and you follow a process. The other one is you have to have a bachelor's and you have to have X amount of years in real estate with a real estate license or real estate experience, and that's another way. But the one that I'm teaching, because this is general and probably the simplest one, is called a Florida real estate license by examination. A Florida real estate license by examination. A Florida real estate instructor's license by examination, which means that you're going to do your application. You go online. If you don't have a DBPR account, it's real simple. You just go on DBPR. If Talia can drop that in the chat, the DBPR, myflorida. I think I have it here, myflorida.org or com. She'll put it in the chat. You're going to open up an account. Once you enter all your information, right, it creates an account. You're going to get an email. Once you get that email, you're going to log into your DBPR My Florida account, and you're going to do your application. Once you do your application, you're going to put on there that you want to apply for the Florida real estate instructor exam, license by examination. And that's going to be the one that I'm giving this master class on, so that you can then study. Once you study the chapters that I'm giving you, and then I'm going to break it down even more for those of you that are here with me today. I'm not going to record that session, but we'll make that more interactive, but I'm going to break it down for you. You are going to study that, and then you are going to apply for your Pearson VUE state exam once your application is processed. So let me break it down again. You create a DBPR account. You go on there. You're going to get an email. You go back on there. You do your application online. You put the license that you're applying for, which is a real estate license by examination. You are then going to be told you have to get fingerprints. Now, one of the biggest questions that is always asked is, if I already have a license, or if I already did fingerprints for whatever other license, or broker, real estate agent, mortgage, I don't know, any other license, can I use those fingerprints? And the answer is always no. The FBI does not allow sharing of fingerprints for different licenses. So you have to do it again. You can do it at any of the local. There's even there online, you're going to find different places that they recommend, or you can just go to the sheriff's office. Regardless, here's the trick to you connecting your fingerprints with your application. You are going to, and you want to write this down, you're going to have to tell the location where you're doing your fingerprints that this is for a Florida real estate license, and there is an ORI number. ORI number. And I'm going to give you that ORI number. And if you forget it, you can always text me, call me, reach out, message me, and we'll send it again. But the number is F as in Florida, L as in Larry, 9200102. And if Talia can drop that in the chat as well, that would be helpful. So that's how they connect the two, right? So your application, your social security number, and then you go get your fingerprints and you give them the ORI number, which I just gave you, FL 9200102, and boom, it comes together. When you get your approval, which is going to be pretty fast, then you're ready to schedule at Pearson VUE your examination. You show up, and all you need to do is pass with a 75. You then are a licensed Florida instructor, and the fun begins. The fun begins. So that is it in a nutshell. Like I said, I'm going to dissect a little bit more on the study, but I wanted to just go over the highlights real quick. I want to end this session talking about you being the solution. I think that's really important, especially in this market. You know, you being the solution, and you have no idea for how many people you can be the solution. So what do I mean by you being the solution? We all know that right now the market is slowing down. We already know that, you know, the market is not where it used to be. We already know that there's people jumping ship. We already know that there's people that are hanging on to dear life, like the agent that I spoke with yesterday. And this agent said, I refuse to quit. I refuse to quit. But the sad part, and what I want to share with you, is that I said, what is your broker doing to help you? And without any judgment or shame in the game, this agent said, nothing. Nothing. And that's where I said, wow, what a great opportunity that we could be the solution to so many. So think of all the people that you already know are in real estate that have the potential to make it, that should make it, that by you repositioning yourself, reinventing yourself, redesigning yourself in this down market, you could help them. Then I had a conversation with someone else in the industry yesterday, and they said, Lucy, I can't make it to tomorrow's, but I'm going to go to the next masterclass because I've already realized that my business is slowing down. I need to find something else to do. I need to find something else that's going to give me a new income stream. And I said, well, this is it. This is it. Why? Imagine for a moment, right here, right now, you get an opportunity to pivot, redesign, reinvent, reposition yourself, and relaunch, and you start to do this. And not only will you be changing people's lives, you'll be, you know, all the people you already work with, all the people you already know, you're going to monetize your experience. You are going to monetize your knowledge base. You're going to monetize what you do already and be able to help them while you're monetizing them and create a new income stream. Imagine you not having to go through the trials and tribulations and errors of that I've gone through, because I'm offering you the opportunity to be one of my advisors, or, you know, satellite operators, or, you know, business partners or affiliate partners. And then I don't know if you have an office or you don't have an office. I don't know if you know people, you know, outside of the area. It's whatever you have in your arsenal, in your treasure chest. This is an opportunity for you to take those systems, those strategies, those concepts, that database, and be the solution in a new generational way, in a way that's really gonna, you know, impact people and make a difference. And then just imagine for a moment, 36 months from now, 24 months from now, 12 months from now, who could you be in the market? What could you also be known for in the market? And maybe you're here, right? Because you're like the person I spoke to yesterday, you know, I have to find a new income stream. But maybe you're here because you already know that success has been giving you signals, and this is something that you should have done, that you would have done, but you hadn't done. And this is your moment. This is your moment to do this. Now, I believe this is the best way to relaunch 2024. I believe there's, look, even at our local association, we've got over 7,000 agents. And the sad part is that right now, less than 500 of them are closing consistently every month. We already know that our local associations from Marco Island to Sarasota are not bringing impactful business building agent development. We already know that there's people like you and like I that could put together all types of trainings, all types of teachings that are monetized, whether it's for brand new agents, you know, how to kickstart your business, how to launch your business in 30 days, how to go from being a brand new agent to a productive agent. And you already do something in the real estate industry that, gives you the opportunity to teach on these concepts. But there's something even bigger and better than that. And that's the fact that through this vehicle, you can grow your own business. What do you mean by that, Lucy? You said we can't recruit. You said we can't sell. You can't sell and you can't recruit in the classroom, but people want to do business with people they like, they know, and they trust. And guess what happens once you become an instructor? People like you, people know you, people start to trust you. And this is a great opportunity to leverage all those different components and also be able to grow your business. So that's why I say we can be the solution. And last but not least, and the part that I'm the most passionate about is that because I've taken this international, I believe in our local, Spanish speaking market. I don't know if you know this, but if you don't, I think there's people here that represent the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals. I had the opportunity to launch one of the local chapters, several years back. The Latino market is the new mainstream economy. We have buying power. And I don't care how well we speak English. When I'm around my Latinos, a mí me gusta hablar en español. I like to speak in Spanish. So imagine that segment of the population out there that is not being taught in our language. My goodness, what an incredible opportunity. So that's why when I had the thought, and after looking for instructors for 2 years and not finding any, except my 2 instructors, which I love, they've hung in there with me, and they're great people. I said, what do I need to do? And the master class came into mind. And I said, okay, this is my opportunity. And you know what? Maybe you envision, and that's why I said, listen, maybe someone wants to open up an academy. We could be business partners together. You get to take all my systems, my tools, my resources, everything I already do, everything I've already put in place, and we can open up satellites. But maybe you just want to do your own. And that's okay. That's okay. Whatever we do, global has to be your new local. You right here, right now, mark it down, the date, the time, the moment. You are going to see our area become like the big markets that at one point were like we are, until international kicked in, until they also went global. And I'm talking about the Miamis, I'm talking about the Bocas, I'm talking about the Fort Lauderdales, I'm talking about the Orlandos, the Kissimmees, I'm talking about those areas that now the international markets have totally impacted, right? So I believe that global is our new local. I believe that by us, which is what I've been doing for the last 18 months, taking this valuable content internationally, we're going to make those relationships that are also going to boost our business, right? And that are also going to help us leverage what we already do. And I don't know if you know this, but we don't have many Latino instructors in our area. I think besides me, there may be one more. There's no, right? Except now we're curating a whole new culture of instructors. And whether you speak Spanish or you don't, I just say you must become a new generation of instructors. That's who you need to become. That's who you need to be. So I want to thank you for joining me for this session. Now we are going to move into the dissecting of all this material we have to study. But I hope that you got something out of this section, and I enjoyed sharing this with you so much. And I will see you next time.